You talk about, Tony, life happening. Life
Okay.
happens, you say. Can you explain this to me? Because I've been slightly sort of puzzled about that.
Okay, so when...
In relation to the creative process, and I'll come back to that if I may.
that's fine.
Yeah.
When the individual energy collapses, when the artificial construct of the individual energy collapses,
Yeah.
there's nothing left. There's no experiencer, there's no awareness, there's no consciousness, there's no centre.
There's no consciousness?
No.
Wow.
In terms of consciousness being awareness of,
Okay,
or consciousness
like
of. For me, the word consciousness points to being conscious of, knowing of, or aware of.
Okay, as an individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, even as a, or let's call it or a centre that is aware of you sitting there.
Yeah. Okay.
Or conscious of you sitting there.
Yeah.
That collapses. All that's left is what is apparently happening.
Yeah.
So in this thing, there's no locality here at all.
Yeah.
There isn't anything here.
Yeah.
There is only what's happening. So there's these hands going like that body, that head nodding, the flowers and sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is only what's apparently happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nobody
Yeah.
that's doing that. There's nobody that's aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Within that, they can be functioning. This thing can go and make a cup of tea, but making a cup of tea is what's apparently happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So all of that, life goes on just as it did before for no one.
You see, I'm fascinated by this because one of the things that I've actually found personally quite attractive as a if you like, as a, again, words, right, but as a theory or as an application, as a way of life, is that to surrender to what happens, to surrender to life. In other words, not to do or to make the effort to do, to try to be something, it's all this element of trying because we're all conditioned to believe we have to do this to be successful, etc., 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 which is fine for most people. I'm not knocking it. I mean, it's again, I won't say it's a choice,
it's
but
a good story.
It's a good story, right? But I'm quite attracted to the idea of, allow life to happen.
Yeah.
But how does that fit with the creative process? Because I think you say in one of your books about, manifestation is our creation. Now, what do you mean by that?
I have never said that.
No?
If it's in there, it's a mistake.
It shouldn't be.
It's
okay.
a misprint.
Okay, it's a misprint.
So there are two things really.
How does the creative process work then in a oneness reality?
It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's what happens.
It's just what happens. There's
There's
no
no
creativity.
identity linked to it at all.
Right.
And the other thing I think that you were saying was that in some way or other there could be a surrender to life or an allowing. But that is based on the idea that there's someone that can do that.
Yes, indeed. And it's like an A to B again, isn't it?
Is.
Yeah, yeah.
If you surrender to life, then you become life. Or
it's like a process.
There's somebody who says that if you become aware of life as it is, then that is wholeness.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to do that?
Yeah.
You're back to the principle of do this, and then that arises.
Yeah. But in terms of people listening to this, I mean, I would imagine that's quite not an easy message to swallow, is it?
It's an awful message to swallow. Let's put it this way: for the individual, it's impossible to swallow. Some people say, "Oh, this is very difficult," and I say, "No, it's not difficult. It's utterly impossible. When you go out of this room, don't take anything with you. There's nothing to take from this room. Right. There's nothing you can take home as homework or an idea that you could hold on to.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hold on to. But what you long for will never leave you. It's there now. As you open the door to your flat, you walk inside, the walking, the opening the door is what is happening.
Yeah.
What you long for is what's happening.
Yeah.
But you get in the way by thinking that it's happening to you.
But isn't that also a case of letting the longing happen? It's almost like, isn't there a letting go? No, that's a process, isn't it? Again. Yeah.
There's nothing. Actually, in the end, there's nothing that happens. This is not about something happening. It isn't a message saying something has to happen. Because actually, liberation, and this is awful, I'm very sorry about this, liberation doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It only what apparently happens is the falling away of that which longs to become liberated.
Yeah.
Because the seeker wants to become liberated. And he's always looking for something to happen. That's its dilemma.
Mm. So is this again? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is this more than just going with the flow
Oh, totally. It isn't going with the flow.
at all?
No. It's the end. It's about the end of you.
So there is, but there must still be a flow of energy because I'm still.
There is an
energy, right?
apparent flow.
Oh, there's an apparent
This
flow
is
of
all
energy, okay.
apparently happening.
Okay.
You are apparently a body sitting there.
Yes.
And you might apparently think that you're an individual sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah. But
Well,
it's
it's
beginning
all-
to doubt.
It's all, yeah. But the even worse part of this is,
Yeah.
and this is the absolute ultimate paradox,
Go on.
is that we're sitting here going like this, and there seems to be something happening. Actually, there is nothing happening. This is no thing happening. This is no thing happening. So that, it can't be comprehended.
Let's go back to choice and free will, Tony, because again, I think this would be for a lot of people, again, a difficult one to grasp.
Impossible.
Because almost
Impossible.
like impossible
Not
to grasp. I can't even formulate the question in a sense, but you see what I'm going with this. It's like, we have, if you like, this perceived or illusory element of free will and choice. And we have this, if you like, we have this reality or unreality that actually, it's almost like the one is dissolved within the other. There's no connection. That's what you're saying, is it? Do you follow me?
Wait a minute, I'm not quite with you. The individual construct, and
where
free will and choice is simply a story.
Yeah, okay.
It's a dream story. It doesn't have any.
It's just something we've been conditioned to believe.
Totally, we all got believing.
Yeah, okay.
We all, the world's full of apparent individuals.
Right,
it's
okay.
a completely artificial story.
But if there's no free will and choice, me moving my finger like that's just oneness moving its finger.
Happening.
It's what's happening. And even if I think to myself, I'll move that flower, again, am I missing something?
No.
Yeah.
What's happening is that the brain is saying, move that flower.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
the identity, me, takes claim of it, makes a claim of it.
Yes.
This is me moving this flower. I'm doing this.
Yes.
And actually it's just coming out of nothing. It's more difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Is again related to the rich man, is the man who lays claim to everything that's happening, man or woman. I'm doing this is my life, this is my wife, this is my house, and this is my understanding of what enlightenment is. And this is my understanding of what spiritual growth is. It's all richness.
Well, that's how we're taught, isn't it? That's education in a sense.
Yeah, but there's nothing, let's be clear about this. The Empty Secret is not saying there's anything right or wrong with anything.
Right.
All it's saying is that that's what happens.
Yeah.
If there's a rich
Yeah.
person there laying claim to everything,
Yeah.
it's what's happening.
Yeah. Now, what's the real value of your message, Tony? Because I got a sense that, I work with clients, as you know, personally and individually, and there's a lot of stuff around fear, there's a lot of stuff around negative beliefs. Now, I know all this is, within your message, like an illusion, but it's like, I'm thinking to myself, and again, okay, thinking is thinking, there is no end game, and yet I can see that the people who are able to, if you like, absorb the message, I won't say grasp it, the people who are able to actually get to that place where they can let go. I know there's no place, right? They can let go of me, right? If they can stop being addicted to the thing. They can't.
Me can't let go of me. All the time the me is trying to let go of me, the me gets bigger and bigger.
Okay.
The higher self tries to get rid of the self, and just becomes higher and more, more spiritual and more. The me can't, the illusion can't dispel itself. And I know what the question you were going to ask, and I'm already answering.
You go on.
As far as the individual is concerned, this is of no value at all.
Right.
And not at all. As far as the individual is concerned, in the story of individuality, this is the worst message possible for them to listen to. Because it's about the end.
So there's not even peace and harmony, you know?
No, there's only what happens.
Okay.
There was a man once...
Because everything is labelled.
There was a man once who said, unless you lose your life, you shall not gain eternal life. He was the same guy that was talking about the rich man. He knew a thing or two, old Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a sense, what I'm talking about here has always been communicated. Of course. There's nothing new about this. But it's very hidden. It's hidden behind all the dogmas. But it's there. It's in the scriptures. It's in the Gospels. It's there, but it's hidden. It's hidden for that can lift the stone a bit higher and really, uncover something. It's not available for the masses of seekers who want to be given something. The seeker wants a need fulfilled, and teachers are becoming fulfill that need by saying, look, I can give you this, and that'll get you somewhere. This isn't saying that. This is an awful message for the seeker. It's about...
Actually, I don't know if you get your comment on this, but I heard some time ago what I thought was quite a neat thing, and it was saying that life is like a game of hide and seek. You know, you take human form and you hide your truth, if you like, and truth is, I know that's the word again, you hide your essence, if you like, somewhere, and you spend your life trying to find it.
Totally.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, except that you don't hide it.
Right,
there's nothing out there, there is no intention, nothing doesn't have any intention. It doesn't, there's an argument put these days that consciousness arises as everything and then loses itself in order to re-find itself. That's a fairy story. There isn't anything out there doing anything.
So your message is not to enable people to raise consciousness?
It's not to enable people.
At all?
No.
Not to enable? It's not even to enable?
There isn't a consciousness to arise.
Okay.
Everything is absolutely, perfectly complete. This is complete. It doesn't need anything. Wholeness doesn't need anything. It doesn't. It's not interested in individuals becoming enlightened because the individual that's seeking is wholeness. Seeking, struggle, longing is wholeness. Seeking, struggling, and longing.